We're talking about agriculture and climate in this series of podcasts. This one is a nice review paper on how to reduce the overall emissions from the food system, including agriculture, livestock, meat production. And of course, we know that agriculture emits more than 25% of the total emissions. And unfortunately, 6% of the total emissions come from food waste as well. So when we think about reducing emissions from agriculture, there is, of course, the idea of doing conservation agriculture, low tillage, and you want to reduce fertilizer use and nitrous oxide emissions. You want to manage biomass from livestock rumination, fermentation, etc. itself to reduce methane emissions. And there are methods of agriculture which reduce overall emissions as well as sequester more carbon into the soils, like agroforestry. For livestock, you have more holistic grazing practices with silvopasture and so on, which we discussed under the nature-based solutions as well. What else? You have a supply chain where lots of waste happens as well, and the supply chain, which includes transportation, has to reduce its own emissions as well, right? So overall, you want to also think about how to reduce the demand for food itself, and that relates to also reducing waste. But there are often unforeseen circumstances like COVID, the pandemic came along and forced people to stay at home, and a lot of packaging, ordering in of foods, and other waste happened. Every time people eat outside instead of cooking at home, there is generally more waste incurred. Okay, so it's a very vast enterprise from uh, you know growing crops on the fields in farms and having livestock maybe together or separate, and producing food, the processing. Again, you have energy use, you have waste, and you have other ways of improving agriculture with biochar and so on. So there are really infinite angles, and this review paper tries to address all of them. uh, there are some low-hanging fruit, to use a cliche, and there are many no-regret decisions, like reducing food waste should be a no-brainer. And agriculture also uses massive amounts of water. More than 70% goes for irrigation, so we have to reduce water use as well. Pumping water takes energy and so on. So I can hardly cover many angles in this 3-minute introduction, but please see the video, a podcast.